The Uniswap team has revealed everything that's new about Uniswap version 3, the newest iteration for the Uniswap decentralized exchange, 4,000 times more efficient than version 2. In this video, I'll be going over all of the updates that will be introduced in the highly awaited Uniswap version 3. So stay tuned. If you're interested in DeFi or if you're a liquidity provider, I'm pretty sure you'll find all of this information super valuable. Make sure to subscribe if you want honest and trustworthy cryptocurrency content broken down into bite-sized videos brought to you weekly. Or don't subscribe if you don't like money. I'll keep this video quick and short. I'll just go over the most important changes to Uniswap. So in short, Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, meaning that people provide liquidity, allowing other people, DeFi traders, to swap either ETH with ERC20 tokens or ERC20 tokens with other ERC20 tokens. So Uniswap was introduced back in November 2018, and it's been a super popular decentralized exchange because you could actually start buying some hidden gems, hidden ERC20 tokens before they actually landed onto big centralized exchanges. And yeah, Uniswap trading volume has gone through the roof. And with all of that popularity, version 2 was introduced, and that was introduced in May 2020. And what is also pretty fantastic is, I think it was around the 27th of September that Uniswap actually launched or airdropped their Uni tokens, meaning that people actually got a massive amount of money for free just because they were the first users of the Uniswap DEX. And now everyone is super excited with what kind of updates are going to come to version 2. So now the version 3, which will be released probably somewhere around 5th of May or maybe afterwards. Depends on if there's any delays. If you like this type of content, make sure to leave a like on the video. It just takes a few seconds and lets me know what kind of content you actually enjoy. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you've used Uniswap and if you were one of the lucky airdrop recipients, because I think the airdrop at the moment is worth around $11,000, so a crazy amount. Let me know what you did with that money. Let's continue. So the Uniswap team is excited to present an overview of Uniswap version 3. And what is pretty awesome is that it's going to be, of course, on the layer 1 Ethereum. So that's what you already know. But it's also going to be deployed on layer 2 with optimistic Ethereum, Optimism. So this is very interesting because Optimism allows for high scalability and reduced fees. As you're probably aware, fees on Ethereum are incredibly high. So let's have a look at the awesome improvements. I'm really hyped about these. Uniswap version 3 introduces concentrated liquidity and multiple fee tiers. That means depending on how you provide liquidity, you can be earning a massive amount, a multiple of what you would be earning on version 2. And I'll get to how that is actually possible in just a bit. These features make version 3 one of the most flexible and efficient automated market makers ever. So the LPs can provide liquidity with up to 4,000 capital efficiency. In other words, what this 4,000x capital efficiency actually means, it means that when you're actually doing a trade on Uniswap, you're going to have low slippage. So trade execution can surpass both centralized exchanges and stablecoin focused automated market makers. Furthermore, LPs can significantly increase their exposure to the assets that they want and reduce their downside risk, also reducing the risk of impermanent loss. And this is pretty awesome. Now, even though they've added so many new features and smart contract updates and stuff like that, the gas costs of version 3 swaps on Ethereum mainnet is slightly cheaper than version 2. So even with all of these updates, version 3 is going to be cheaper than version 2. Not drastically cheaper, but cheaper on layer 1. And it's going to be massively cheaper on layer 2 with Optimism deployment. So this is definitely something to be super bullish on, and anyone even with lower amounts of funds can start becoming a DeFi trader and buying some shitcoins on Uniswap or even some legit gems. Concentrated liquidity is actually pretty revolutionary for liquidity providers. The main issue with version 2 is that LPs only earn fees on a small portion of their capital. But with concentrated liquidity and version 3, liquidity providers can concentrate their capital within custom price ranges, providing greater amounts of liquidity at desired prices. So basically, if they would maybe be providing liquidity for ETH or USDC, they can actually specify between what kind of price range they'd actually like to provide some liquidity. This means the narrower the range for the liquidity that they're providing, the higher the fees they're going to earn. So this video here illustrates it really well. More fees for less. So if you actually place your liquidity for $0 to infinity, you're not going to be earning that much. But the narrower it gets, the higher the factor. The Uniswap version 3 website has a pretty awesome calculator. What it actually allows you to do is compare the amount of fees that you'll be earning with version 3 compared to version 2. And you can also select the price range for which you'd like to provide some liquidity. So like I mentioned before, the narrower this price range, the more fees you'll be earning compared with version 2. So at the moment, with 150,000 US dollars of liquidity provided, you would actually need $785,000 on version 2 to earn the same amount of fees. So on version 3, you're earning 5.24 times more fees. But you can actually increase this factor by reducing this range. So let's say I bring this up to $1,500 and bring this down to maybe $2,000. And here I would actually be earning 12 times more than with version 2. So with $150,000 in version 3, I would actually have to have 1.8 million US dollars in version 2 to earn the same amount of fees. And I think this is pretty crazy. So if you select a narrow range, you're always going to have to change this range to make sure that the price is within your range. Otherwise, you won't be earning any fees. In short, liquidity providers are only earning fees if the asset is trading between the two price ranges that is selected for which you want to provide liquidity. In version 3, liquidity providers are going to receive an NFT, a non-fungible token, which will represent their amount of liquidity that they provided in the liquidity pool. Last but not least, there's going to be flexible fees. And I think this is a really important update for liquidity providers that want to manage their risk. So version 3 will offer liquidity providers 3 different types of fee tiers. You've got 0.05%, 0.3%, and 1%. And this is so that the liquidity providers can actually earn more by taking more risk, or earn a little bit less but having a lot more safer liquidity pools. So when liquidity providers take on more risk in non-correlated pairs like ETH-DAI, here you've got the risk of impermanent loss, and they would earn a lot more fees with such a liquidity pool, and they would earn lower fees with minimal risk with correlated pairs like USDC-DAI. And I think this is a very important improvement because impermanent loss is definitely a bummer and one of the major downsides for liquidity providers. On the other hand, I think if someone actually wants to provide liquidity, he should be compensated for that and definitely compensated for impermanent loss. So assets that are very similar in price like DAI, USDC, liquidity pools are going to generate 0.05% in fee rewards, and pairs like ETH-DAI would earn 0.3% to compensate for impermanent loss. And then super exotic assets that might be ETH with an unknown ERC20 token that would then earn 1% because that's like the highest risk possible in terms of liquidity pools. There's definitely a lot more information that I haven't covered, but that's the gist of what Uniswap version 3 is going to bring to the decentralized exchange. I'm a big fan of the Uniswap DEX. And if you haven't already used it, I highly recommend trying it out, or at least trying it out on layer 2 optimism. That's definitely something that many people, I think many of my viewers is looking forward to, because it'll allow you to buy some super hidden gems without paying $50, $100 in smart contract fees. With that said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye bye.